One bright, beautiful Sunday morning, a few minutes before church service started, the congregation was sitting and chatting when all of a sudden, Satan appeared at the front of the church. Everyone started screaming and running for the front entrance, trampling each other in a frantic effort to get away from the devil. Soon everyone was evacuated from the church except for one elderly gentleman who sat calmly in his pew, not moving, seemingly oblivious to the fact that God's ultimate enemy was in his presence. Now this confused Satan a bit, so he walked up to the man and said,
Don't you know who I am?
The man replied, Yes, sure I do. Satan then asked,
Aren't you afraid of me?
and the old man said, No, I am not. Satan was a little perturbed at this and queried,
Why aren't you afraid of me?
and the man calmly replied, I've been married to your sister for the last 50 years. This joke drives home the fact that instead of learning to eradicate fear from our lives, perhaps our energy would be better spent learning to live with it. Friends, do you know what it takes to deliver your best, or rather what comes in the way of us reaching our peak performance? The formula for delivering our best in life was explained by Timothy Galway in his book, The Inner Game of Work. Galway wrote the book in 1970 when people viewed the sport as a purely physical matter. Athletes focused on their muscles, not on their mindsets. Even after 45 years, till today, it remains a bestseller. His book has led many to realize that the inner game holds the key to the outer game of life. In every human endeavor, there are two arenas of engagement, the outer and the inner game. Now, the outer game is played against an external opponent to overcome external obstacles and to reach an external goal. The inner game is played to overcome all habits of the mind which inhibit excellence in performance and is played against such obstacles as fear, self-doubt, limited focus, and limited assumptions. The inner game is a proven method to overcome the self-imposed obstacles that prevent an individual from reaching their full potential. In simple words, the inner game can be summarized by a formula P is equal to P minus I, where performance is equal to potential minus interference. Now, according to him, performance can be enhanced either by increasing potential or by reducing interference. Here's what is revolutionary about this equation. For many of us, when we think about boosting our performance, we typically focus on our additions, that means adding new learning. But according to Timothy, our greatness already exists inside of us. We reach our full potential by subtraction of interferences that degrade our inherent brilliance. Timothy Galway was a nationally ranked tennis player and author of several bestsellers, including The Inner Game of Tennis, which sold at least 2 million copies. He said the opponent within one's own head is more daunting than the one on the other side of the net. Friends, every game in life is actually played on a 6-inch ground, the space between your two ears. The key factor to performing well in life and in every arena is the ability to control the quality and the quantity of your internal dialogue. You need to live in peace, not in pieces. The expression, you are your own worst enemy, rings true for most of us. The word interference in the formula would mean self-limiting beliefs, behaviors or emotions that end up self-sabotaging us from reaching our peak performance. Now, the biggest interference to success lies within the individual psychologies that determine our relationship to the external circumstance. And one of the biggest interferences that acts as a self-sabotage in reaching our peak performance is fear in one of its many manifestations. Comes like stress, tension, avoidance, worry, anxiety, anger, defensiveness, impatience, hopelessness, or dependency, the need to control. All these are aspects of our fear response. Fear is a natural human emotion and it is something that everyone experiences in their lifetime. What matters most is how you fight your fears and whether you let them affect your life. It's a sense of fear that derails success more often than the actual failed attempts at success. Fear and uncertainty can leave you feeling stressed, anxious, and powerless over the direction of your life. It can drain you emotionally and trap you in a downward spiral of endless what ifs and the worst case scenarios about what tomorrow may bring. We presently live in a world that is so much driven with fear. For many of us, the uncertainty building around COVID-19 can be the toughest thing to cope with. There is heightened uncertainty over the economy, employment, finances, relationships, and of course physical and mental health. We still don't know how severely it will affect our lives in the long term. That makes it all easy to inflate it in our minds, creating a downward spiral resulting in an overwhelming fear and panic. But as long as we are focusing on questions with unknowable answers and the circumstances outside our personal control, this strategy will get us nowhere, aside from feeling drained, anxious, and overwhelmed. Now, while these possibilities can be scary to think about, being proactive can help relieve at least some of our anxiety. Now, when you feel yourself getting caught up in the fear of what might happen, there is a need to shift your focus to things you can control so that we can win what is called as our inner game. Now, the important question is the word fear or acronym for fear holding you back? Now, fear is a good thing. Fear is an emotional response to an actual threat, and it's a fundamental survival mechanism that served well throughout human history. When you are in an immediate danger, fear tells you to get yourself to some place which is safer. But the problem is not the word fear, but the acronym fear. Now, the three popular acronyms of fear is false evidence appearing real, false emotion appearing real, and the third one, forget everything and run. While the three acronyms is useful in reminding us that fear is often based on some misperception, it is unfortunately doesn't teach us how to reduce fear. And a new acronym which incorporates research tools for fear reduction, which I read from an article titled by Pamela Garcia, a clinical psychologist and life coach. She says acronym fear should be looked at F for focus. Rather than focusing upon fear, which is often a future focus, focusing on the present through what researchers call mindfulness-based cognitive therapy can help you relax. The second is E, expose. Expose instead of escape. One of the hallmarks of anxiety is the tendency to avoid the discomfort. In contrast, what needs to be done is to break down the fear task into smaller, more achievable steps. For example, if you have fear of public speaking, you could start small by rehearsing your speech to yourself. The next step might be rehearsing in front of one person. Gradually, you increase the number of people you speak to until you are speaking to a group without anxiety. The third one is approach instead of avoid. Another hallmark of anxiety is the tendency to avoid tasks which are seen as difficult or challenging. The best way to conquer a fear is to face it head on, but it's important to do so in a healthy manner that helps you move past the fear rather than in a way that traumatizes you. And last is R, rehearse. Rehearsal involves practicing a behavioral skill in a repeated fashion until mastery is attained. Actors, speakers, athletes, musicians, singers, dancers, skaters, and other performers understand that practicing frequently, often, and well is essential to a great performance. Friends, once we can free ourselves from the prisons of our fears, we automatically release our potential and improve our performance in achieving our goals by being who we wish to be and doing what we wish to do.